Watch this before you spend your coins. If you are watching this right now, stop everything, because what you're about to discover about the 1988 Washington quarter dollar could completely change the way you look at everyday change forever. This is not just another boring coin video. This is a deep dive into one of the most collected modern US coins, where tiny minting mistakes, rare varieties, and overlooked details can turn a 25-cent coin into something collectors are willing to pay serious money for. The 1988 quarter dollar, designed by John Flanagan, features the iconic portrait of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, symbolizing strength, freedom, and American heritage. At first glance, millions of these coins look identical, but under the surface, there are hidden variations that make certain pieces highly desirable among collectors worldwide. Now listen carefully, most 1988 quarters are only worth their face value of 25 cents. But in rare cases, specific mint errors and conditions can push their value into hundreds, thousands, and in exceptional verified auction cases, even more depending on grade, rarity, and demand. This is why professional coin hunters never ignore pocket change. They know that treasure often hides in plain sight. Let's start with the basics. The 1988 Washington quarter was minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S-proof coins. Each mint produced millions of coins, but not all were perfect. During high-speed minting production, errors occasionally occurred, and these errors are exactly what collectors search for today. One of the most famous error types found in Washington quarters is the off-center strike. This happens when the feints right. Coin blank is not properly aligned during striking, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. Depending on severity, an off-center 1988 quarter with a clear date can become significantly valuable to collectors. Another highly interesting error is the clipped planchette. This occurs when the metal blank is improperly cut before minting, resulting in a coin that looks like a portion has been cut out. The more dramatic and visible the clip, the more attention it gets from collectors. Then we have the double die variety. This is one of the most exciting mint errors in numismatics. It happens when the coin die itself is misaligned during the hubbing process, causing certain letters, numbers, or design elements to appear doubled. On some Washington quarters, doubling can be found in inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date itself. A strong and visible double die can dramatically increase collector interest. Another important variety is the filled mint mark error, especially relevant for Denver Mint coins. In this case, grease or debris fills the mint mark die, causing the D to appear weak, faded, or partially missing. While it may seem like a small detail, specialists often pay attention to such anomalies when building error coin collections. We also have die cracks and die breaks, which occur when the minting die begins to wear out over time. These cracks transfer onto the coin surface, sometimes appearing like raised lines or unusual patterns. In advanced stages, this can even create what collectors call cut errors, where a raised blob of metal appears due to a broken die edge. Now let's talk about condition, because condition is everything in coin collecting. A 1988 quarter in circulated condition, meaning it has been used in everyday transactions, usually holds only face value. However, a coin graded in high mint state condition like MS-65, MS-66, or higher by professional grading services can be significantly more desirable. The difference between a warm coin and a flawless uncirculated coin is where serious value begins to appear. But here's where things get really interesting. Collectors do not just look at condition, they look for combinations. For example, an off-center strike combined with a strong date visibility and high mint state condition becomes far more valuable than a single feature alone. Similarly, a double die with strong clarity in inscriptions and no damage can attract competitive collector bidding. This is why coin hunting is not just about finding old coins. It is about finding unusual characteristics that separate one coin from millions of identical pieces. Another factor that influences value is luster. Original mint luster means the coin still has its natural shine from the minting process. Coins that have never been cleaned or damaged retain higher collector appeal. Cleaning a coin, even unintentionally, can drastically reduce its value because it removes microscopic surface details that graders and collectors consider important. Now let's address something very important for every beginner watching this. Not every 1988 quarter with a scratch or minor mark is valuable. True mint errors are specific, identifiable, and verified under magnification. That is why professionals use coin loupes or microscopes to examine every detail carefully. Even the smallest variation in strike quality can determine whether a coin is ordinary or collectible. There are also proof versions of the 1988 quarter, struck specifically for collectors at the San Francisco Mint. These coins have mirror-like surfaces and extremely sharp details. While most proof coins are not rare, their condition and packaging can still make them desirable in the collector market. Now imagine this. You are going through your spare change, and you notice a 1988 quarter that looks slightly unusual. Maybe the design is off-center. Maybe the lettering looks doubled, or maybe the surface has unusual textures. Most people would ignore it, but a trained collector would stop immediately because that tiny difference could represent something rare. That is the mindset that turns ordinary people into successful coin hunters. Let's talk briefly about market demand. Coin collecting is driven by collectors, dealers, and auctions. When demand increases for a specific type of era coin, even common coins with that era begin to rise in value. That is why staying informed is important. Trends in numismatics can change over time, and coins once ignored can suddenly become highly desirable. Now, before you assume every era equals massive value, remember this: authentication is key. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on strike, condition, rarity, and eye appeal. Without certification, even a genuine era coin may not reach its full market potential. So if you ever believe you have found something unusual, preservation is critical. Do not clean it, do not scratch it, and handle it carefully by the edges only. As we reach the end of this deep dive, here is the biggest takeaway. The 1988 Washington quarter dollar is not just pocket change. It is a gateway into the world of modern numismatics, where tiny manufacturing mistakes and condition differences can create real collector value. While most coins will always remain at face value, a small percentage carry hidden characteristics that make them stand out in a big way. And that is exactly why coin hunters around the world keep searching, because the next valuable discovery could be sitting in your hand right now without you even realizing it. If you enjoyed this deep coin exploration, make sure you stay tuned for more detailed coin breakdowns, hidden era discoveries, and collector secrets. Because in the world of coins, knowledge is everything, and the next time you receive change, you might just be holding a piece of hidden history.